Have you ever really considered why toy aisles are divided into blue toys for boys and pink toys for girls? What makes a toy a boy's toy or a girl's toy? Like many parents, you may find your daughter playing with cars or wearing Spider-Man t-shirts, and your son feeling empowered by Disney princesses like Elsa or Moana. Understanding and discussing gender can be as complex as exploring gender identity or as simple as blue or pink. And to help us out is parenting conversationalist Victorine Mbong Shu. Good morning, Victorine, and thank you for joining me. Victorine, your mic is currently on mute. If you can please unmute that. You cannot hear me? Hi, Victorine, can you hear me? Your mic is currently on mute. If you can please unmute that so that we can continue with the discussion. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment to try and sit up. Okay, I can hear sound on your side. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it seems to be the sound seems to be very late. Can you hear me?
Yes, there is a slight delay, and it's all because of the technology. So we're going to allow for some time because of the delay. Right. We are talking about parenting and gender roles. So, how do we best understand gender roles?
In order to understand every concept, we have to start by defining. So before we understand what gender, oh, Maria, I can't talk. It's disturbing. It's echoing. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Victorine. Let's do this. Let me give you a moment to restart, and we'll come back in a few seconds
I
or
want to
a
try
minute or
without
so.
my mic. Is it fine?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and
Go
try it
ahead and
without
try
your
it
mic, please.
without the headphones.
All right. We seems to be having some technical issues with Victorine on her side. Perhaps we should try a phone call instead. Maybe it will be better with a different medium. So we are talking about parenting and gender roles. If you have any comments or questions that you would like to share with us, please leave them in the comments section or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 0617660355. Now, teaching children about gender roles can be a bit challenging. We don't want to say that a woman's place is only in the kitchen and a man's place is only outside, outdoors, doing the mechanics and stuff. And unfortunately, that's how we grew up. We grew up thinking and accepting that blue is for boys and pink is for girls. And if men or boys wear pink, then they are considered a bit feminine, and if women wear blue, then they are considered a bit masculine, and that's not the case. I mean, I'm wearing blue, and I love blue. I also love pink; it's one of my favorite colors, and I don't know how the idea came about that blue supposed to be for boys and pink supposed to be for girls. I don't know who came up with that system and ingrained it so much into our heads such that even our kids are taught that blue is for boys and pink is for girls. Like, what about the other colors in the color system? Shouldn't they be also given a chance? What about the reds, the yellows, the greens, the oranges? What about those colors? Do they also have a masculine and feminine? So share your comments with us. We are talking gender roles and parenting with the parenting conversationalist Victorine. Victorine, is it better now? Can you hear me? Is there an echo? Is everything fine?
Everything seems to be fine, Mariama. Thank you for your patience, and let me thank our listeners.
All right. Very well, and welcome to the show once again. Now, before the interruption over there, in you with the struggles that you were having, you were talking about understanding gender roles, but you also mentioned that we first need to define what it is. So, can you please help us to define and understand gender roles?
Yes, thank you so much. I was about to define the term gender. It's completely misunderstood by many people, but also very, very simple to understand as the identification of a human being based on what sex they should be. They should be. So based on whether they are feminine or masculine, based on whether they are a man or a woman, male or female. That is very correct. But there is a complication to that definition today where people assume roles that are not defined to them by nature. And I would talk about a man behaving like a woman or taking up the role of a woman, not even behaving. Those then come into play some complications in the traditional definition of gender. So when we want to talk about gender role, we should put into consideration the fact that gender is more diversified than just a man and a woman these days. And then going to gender roles now, gender roles are roles that are defined to be played by male or female, a man or a woman, a boy or a girl, right from birth, and one of them in example after the definitions, one of them in example is where you would see that cooking had predominantly been done by women and earning or bringing in the income had predominantly been done by men. So as we dwell into the definition, into the discussion, we would come to understand that these roles are no more as defined.
hmm Now, as I was saying, who determines what roles should be played by a specific gender? For example, also with the colors blue for boys and pink for girls. I mean, who comes up with that idea?
Very beautiful question, and you can see me smiling there. The reason is because when I was called to say I'll be talking on this topic, I got very, very excited because it's a topic of controversy, Maria. Nobody defines except society. In one of my books, I mentioned that as soon as the parents find out that they are pregnant, they start being curious on which gender or which sex they are carrying. And as soon as they find out that it's a boy in this case, their behavior changes. Their behavior changes and it's tilted towards nurturing a boy child. They start
Mhm.
looking for definitions or for articles, objects that define the parent of a boy child. And similarly, if it's a girl child, you've just said it. They start looking for colors. They start looking for toys. They start looking for, even some people go as far as changing the room, the setup of their houses. So society has defined how we define how we treat our children according to their genders.
And also, I find that like you mentioned, they people get excited, people get into the role, assuming the role that I'm going to be a parent to a boy child or I'm going to be a parent to a girl child. And then, it also comes down to the excitement of and with the curiosity, like I want a girl child and I want a boy child, and the men are more inclined towards wanting a boy child so that they can carry the family name, etc. The women
Mm.
inclined to a girl child so that perhaps she can help them, or she can carry that role of being a strong woman, a mother, etc., etc. And it's like there's nothing wrong with the child that God gives you, because your boy child can also help you out, and your girl child, unfortunately, she can't carry, she cannot carry your surname, your lineage, but she can be part of the strong family unit that you want to achieve. Now, when it comes to children, at what age do children understand and distinguish between male and female genders?
Okay, let me go back to the point of females wanting girl child and males wanting boy child. It's also very exciting because you have put it aptly. Religion and culture have defined it like that. Religion and culture have placed us to want to have a gender that we affiliate or align with more. But now, when you look at how things are changing, you would see that some fathers are turning to love to have girl children. And this is also because in the African context, for instance, there is a lobola that is attached to children, but also there is the understanding that girls are tending to take more care of their own children, of their own family, much more than the boy child would take, because most of the boy kids, when they get married, they don't look back. That is the assumption. I can't say that, I don't really know. And then going back now to what you've just asked, or what you've just sorry, I think I missed that. There's a message that came in that got me distracted. In one word, what was I supposed to say?
Well, I wanted to know at what age do children understand and distinguish between genders? But hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break, and we will continue thereafter.
Okay.
With area is at a shocking 11%. 1 July is day zero for the Kucha Dam, resulting in dry taps for hundreds of families in the surrounding areas of Port Elizabeth. Help us strategize. Support our water drive in the Eastern Cape region of South Africa. Donate your lilla towards the erecting of JoJo tanks in impoverished areas and for the vehicles to deliver water in areas of need. Donate to the Al-Fida Foundation. Visit our website at www.alfida.co.za or contact us at 041 484 1288.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Add a sprinkling of sparkles to your magical parties and special occasions with colorful party supplies and decorations to a wide range of baking goods and tools. Packaging from gift bags to meat bags, foil and polystyrene containers, elegant serviettes and intimate candles to disposable wet wipes. A range of glassware, bakeware and stunning wedding accessories just for you. Wholesale packaging available. Sprinkles and Sparkles Party Shop. You want it all. Find us at 431 Inanda Road, Parlock, Durban. Call 031 577 0604. Our operating hours are weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., weekends and public holidays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Follow us on Instagram at Spring and Spark.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Famine, conflict, and severe economic decline make the humanitarian crisis in Yemen the worst in the world. More than 20 million Yemenis do not know where their next meal is coming from, and over 10 million are suffering extreme levels of hunger. With your support, the Al-Imdad Foundation delivers essential food aid to starving Yemeni communities. It's a question of survival. So let's do what's right. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Makwanda. It's 11:19 at the moment. We are talking gender roles and parenting. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061 766 0355. And He is a parenting conversationalist, Victorine Mbong Shu. Victorine, thank you for staying with us. Now, before the break, I wanted to know from what age do children start learning and understanding between, or rather distinguishing between a male and female?
Yes, in my understanding and theoretically or practically speaking, sorry, you can tell that a child would know the difference between the mother and the father from the time they start expressing themselves, from the time they start understanding how to say mama and dada. And for most children, it will either just before the age one or just after that, and it goes on until when they're about 2.5, 3 years old. They then start to understand what type of gender they themselves are. Because at that younger age, they can tell a boy from a girl, a man from a woman, but they can't really tell whether they are a boy or they are a girl until they start identifying their I almost said their wee, until they start understanding their genitals. And when they start understanding their genitals, they start asking questions that are genital related. And as we respond to these genital related questions, we then are positioning them consciously or subconsciously on where they belong. And that is when you see that most children again become more conscious of their genitals. Those who are smarter or more conscious, I could say, start hiding their genitals or start concealing it from us or start understanding that it belongs to them. So basically, it's between the ages of when they start, between the stages, not ages, stages of when they start talking to just under 3 years for the slower kids. Are you there? Hello?
Hello. I think we just had a little bit of network issues over there. Now, my child, she's asking questions, and she's 3 years old now. And the other day we were having an argument also about blue and pink. And she said to me, "No, blue is for boys." I'm like, "No, blue is for anyone, and pink is for anyone as well." She's like, she was adamant that no, blue is for boys and pink is for girls. So how do you teach your children about these things, especially how to distinguish what is for boys and what is for girls, what is for male, what is for females?
So since you've given a personal example, I'll also give you a personal example, practically how we did it at home. I'm a mother of 4 children. The corner children are boys and the middle children are girls. When, like every other mother, when I had my first 2 children, I was very excited about gender. I strictly had blue for boys and strictly had pink for girls, purple for girls. But as my second child became aware and conscious of the fact that blue was for boys and pink for girls, she started rejecting the colors and she decided to love pink and she started to love blue and to reject pink. She didn't want to have anything that identified her with girls. So her favorite color became blue and white. And from that, I actually got worried because I started thinking of homophobia, thinking my child might be a girl who would have to come behave like a girl. But when I furthered myself in research, I found out that not every traditional role fits a particular scenario. So until today, she's 14 now. Until today, her bedroom is still blue color, which she had gotten when she was 4. She made us paint her bedroom blue. And basically, you don't have to drill it into a child to say pink is for girls and blue is for boys. Society is doing that for you. The media is doing it. If they do go to creche, the creche is doing it. And we would have those other children that would typically reject this because they do not fit in. But as a parent, we then tended in our house to make sure that we started treating our children as gender neutral from the time that a third child was born. So our firstborn, of course, we would not wear dresses on them, but we started clothing them gender neutrally. And I came to realize my first child is a boy. He would wear my t-shirt, he would wear my tops. He never wore any of my skirts, but if I had a pants, he would wear them and he was comfortable with them. He still is today at 16. He is comfortable wearing my things, and the sisters are comfortable wearing his things. So it's not only the matter of the color, but the matter of clothes that are traditionally sold for boys and girls. My children are exchanging that today because for the most part of their lives, have raised them to be gender neutral in the colors and the cutting of the clothes that they wear.
All right. Now, when we're speaking about cutting off clothes, like women wear pants as well, and we do see men wearing skirts and dresses, as part of their cultures and religions as well. Now, what are some mistakes that parents make when teaching kids about genders? And quickly before you answer that question, I noticed that when boys are born, or maybe they are in the toddler ages and they look really cute like girls, and we like, oh, that's cute, they're so cute, and we put the dresses on them and we take photos because they look cute, and we don't do that for the girls because I don't know why. We just never do that for the girls, but we do that for the boys because they look cute as a boy and they look cute in a dress. So what are some of the mistakes we make when we're teaching them about gender roles?
I feel like the greatest mistake is that of holding on to gender itself. Just that thing of saying that you're a boy, you have to do what boys do. You're a girl, you have to do what girls do. That is the biggest mistake. And the reason is because of the initial definition that I had given to gender. But just not that. Looking onto nature, sometimes nature actually positions you in places that you did not preempt to be. For instance, a boy would grow up in a house where there is no other girl, and imagine him not being able to cook, and then finds himself in a position where he's got to cook. How does he then manage that? So we need to not hold on to the gender roles themselves. We need to be a little bit relaxed on how we hold on to those roles. There is no mistake per se by pointing out at single things, because life itself is not a mistake. But what I mean is, let's just generalize, let's just relax it and say, if a boy is inclined to doing girls thing, let him do. If a girl is inclined to doing boys thing, let her do. But we have to consciously make them aware that they carry the female genitals or the male genitals, not just blocking them off and saying to them, no, you can't do this because you're a boy, or you can't do this because you're a girl. That is the mistake. That no part of it, that distinction part of it is what is killing our children when they get to adulthood. And then when they get compelled now to do certain things, they do it with shame rather than humility.
But what if they like doing that as they grow up? What if the boys grow up liking to wear dresses and mom's heels, and the girls love playing with cars and everything that we deem as masculine and female? What if they grow up liking that?
I mean, what if they grow up liking that? It's a question that I, as an individual, cannot answer. It's a question that society has to answer, because it goes back to what I'm saying. If you spend your whole life saying, don't, what if? Do you ever think of that what if? What if becomes very individualistic. There are some parents who have said that if my child grows up and does this, I'm going to disown them. There are some parents who have said that I'll take them. There are societies that have driven some of this to even commit suicide. So we need to, at the birth of our children, start answering the questions of what if. This is not even a discussion to be having here between you and I and our listeners. We have to broaden it to society to start responding to what if, since we have no control over it. But for me to answer as an individual, I would say from the time your child is born, you just have to put up an open mind and have an open perspective to gender friendliness.
And well, you're going to keep on asking yourself these what if questions, like, what if I don't do this? And what if I don't do that? So you're only limiting yourself into how much your child, and you're limiting your child's potential. And quickly, how does gender roles affect a child's development?
So basically, for me to answer that, let us talk about the two parents home, where there is a mother and there is a father. Every individual in that home has their own role that they play. It doesn't matter how open they are to gender perspective, but the individual gender of the parent grooms the child in a particular way. It grooms the child in personality, in character, in the way they talk and act, in the way they greet, in the way they do every single thing. They look up, whether the child is a boy or a girl, they look up to their mother for a particular thing, look up to their father for a particular thing. So gender would groom a child in the sense that a home where there is that liberty for the child to mimic the mother and mimic the father at the same time basically grooms a holistic child. And a home that would limit the child to just be the child or to one parent would basically have a child who is skewed in the perspective that they look at the world because they've got just one gender to look at. This is not to say one of them would be better than the other, but this is to say the perspectives that the children then put out there becomes completely skewed towards a kind of gender that they had been groomed to either look up to or to become.
All right, Victorine, we don't have much time on our side, but thank you so much for chatting to us. And earlier on, you mentioned the book. How can people get a copy of it? What's the title of the book and your contact details?
My first book on parenting is titled Stop Complaining and Bring Back Involved Parenting. You can actually get it simply by Googling me, or it's also available in Profound Bookstore, 181 College Drive in Bramley in Johannesburg. I am on 082-548-6385 or simply my name, Victorine at mbongshu.co.za. But you can find me on all social media by just putting in Mbong Shu.
All right, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
I thank you, Marie.
That was parenting conversationalist Victorine Mbong Shu taking us through parenting and gender roles. So you can get a copy of her book by finding her on social media, or like she said, just Google her and Mbong Shu at Mbong Shu. That's the name that you can search for on your socials. It is 11:31. We would like to hear your comments and questions regarding this topic on parenting and gender roles. So please leave them in the comment section, and you can also send them to us on WhatsApp 0617660355. Stay with us. We will be right back.